Okay, good morning friends. Today we'll see the unit number 1, that is introduction. That is lecture number 1, introduction. In this first point comes under the first unit number 1 is that is cellular concept. Before dealing with the cellular concept, how the mobile phone has been invented, that we'll see. The mobile phone is invented in 1946. The mobile phone is invented in 1946. And this mobile phone is operated on a high power antenna, that is high power transmitters are operated by the mobile phone, that is 1946, and it is coverage of this mobile phone and with the high power transmitter is very less. So in the new era, 2000 subscribers were there. In 2000 subscribers, only 12 channels are available for this 2000 subscribers. For that, what the problem mean? The main problem is what? For getting one channel, the subscriber has to wait for 30 minutes to make one call. For that, to avoid that problem, the Bell Laboratories has conceived the idea of cellular concept. To avoid the problem of getting the channel to the individual users, the individual subscriber, the Bell Laboratories has conceived the idea of cellular concept. What is the cellular concept? The cellular concept is invented by the Bell Laboratories with the idea of cellular concept. What is meant by that? What they have done? They have to convert the high power transmitter, the single high power transmitter, into number of lower power transmitters. Okay, this is when the higher power transmitter is converted into number of lower power transmitters. Here there is only one base station is present in the higher power transmitter. That is one base station, single base station is converted into the number of many base station. That is base station 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number of many base station. That is base station 1, that is BS1 is particularly operating in this area, and the base station 2 is operated in this cell. The base station 3 is operated in this cell. The base station 4 is operated in this cell. Whatever the frequency used for this cell, the same frequency cannot be used for the other cell. That is of adjacent cell. The frequency used for one cell, the same frequency cannot be used for adjacent cell. But the frequency used for one cell, the same frequency can be used for the co-channel cell. It should be the maximum distance. The same frequency can be used. That is what the main concept of cellular system, that is frequency reuse concept, can be used in this to occupy more and more number of subscribers. That is what the frequency used in one cell, the same frequency cannot be used in adjacent cell. That is adjacent cell. That is the concept of frequency reuse. And the frequency used in one cell, the same frequency can be used in other cell with the maximum distance. That is the concept of frequency reuse concept can be used in cellular concept. And what is meant by cellular concept? The definition is that a larger geographical area is divided into smaller area is called cell. A larger geographical area is divided into smaller area is called as cell. This is a larger geographical area. It is divided into a smaller cell, that is called as a cell. There are mainly two concepts in this cellular concept. That is the cellular, the cell is present at the center, the base station is present at the center, or the base station is present at the edge. This is what center excited cell. Center excited cell. This is edge excited cell. The center excited cell, it is using a omnidirectional antenna. It is using a omnidirectional antenna, and it is using a directional antenna. It is using a directional antenna. The center excited cell, that is omnidirectional antenna we are using, and the edge excited cell we are using the directional antenna. Directional antenna will be in the direction of degrees, that is 30 degrees, 60 degree, 120 degree, that is operated on degrees. The omnidirectional antenna, it is radiated in all the directions, that is what omnidirectional antenna. There are mainly two concepts, center excited cell and edge excited. Most of the time nowadays we are using the edge excited cell. That is what those two concepts, center and edge excited cell. Next we'll see what is a cluster. What is an cluster? Cluster is assigned by the symbol n. Though the n is equals to 3, 4, 7, 9, 12 and 21. The cluster is assigned by 3, 4, 7, 9, 12 and 21. These are defined clusters. If you want to draw n is equals to 3, that you have to draw the 3 cluster, that is 3 cells. That is n is equals to 3. That is F1, F2 and F3. Similarly, if you want to draw n is equals to 4, just you have to draw 4 cells. That is F1, F2, F3, F4. This is what n is equals to 3, n is equals to 4. If you want to draw n is equals to 7, n is equals to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6 and F7. This is what n is equals to 7. The frequency used in one cell, the same frequency cannot be used in F2. The frequency used in F1, the same frequency can be used in F7. This is what a co-channel cell and this is what a adjacent cell. So n is what is meant by cluster. The cluster is nothing but what? The cluster definition is a group of cell having a disjoint frequency or non-overlapping frequency. Non-overlapping frequency is called cluster. A group of cell having a disjoint frequency or non-overlapping frequency is called as cluster. It is having a disjoint frequency or non-overlapping frequency, that is called as a cluster. That is the word the globally accepted cluster is of n is equals to 7. And particularly the most important thing is what? You have to see the cluster size of n is equals to 7. You have to draw this diagram and you have to write this, that is a disjoint frequency and non-overlap frequency is called as a cluster. And next the bit is what? Now the next type is the type of cell. Type of cell. What is a type of cell? It should be a circular, second triangle, third square and fourth hexagonal. How they will represent a type of cell? That is, one is circular, one is triangle, one is a square, one is hexagonal. Okay, the globally accepted is of hexagonal. How they are accepted this globally? That is globally accepted. How this? Why they are accepted this hexagonal cell? We'll see this. The type of cell, it represents a circle. It represents a circle. It must be geometrical in shape. Geometrical in shape. When we join, there should not be any overlapping or gaps. It has to represent all these three concepts. That is, it represents a circle. It must be in geometrical in shape. When we join, there should not be any overlapping or any gaps. The first we'll see the circular in shape. You have to join 2 or 3 circles. This is what? Overlapping. This is what? Overlapping. This is what? Gap. Overlapping results interference in signal. Results interference in signal. Gap leads to loss of coverage. Loss of coverage. This is what? A circular. And it will cover an area of 17.7%. It will cover an area of 17.7%. So they have neglected this. And second, triangle. Second is triangle. You have to draw this triangle. And it is also represent a circle. You have to represent the circle, but there is no gaps and there is no overlapping in this, but it will cover an area of 63, sorry, it is cover area of 17.7, that is of triangle. And third is square, that is square. It is also represent a circle. It is also represent a circle, but it will cover an area of 63.7%. So the last is of hexagonal, and this hexagonal, this is represent a circle, and this will cover an area of 83%. So the maximum area will be covered by hexagonal cell. So this is accepted globally. It is accepted globally. So that is why they have used the hexagonal cell. That is 83% of the area will be covered, as compared to other cells it has covered the maximum area. So they have preferred hexagonal cell. And the last topic of this cellular concept is the types of cell. Types of cell. Types of cell. One is macro cell. Second, micro cell. Third, picocell. Fourth, selective cell. Fifth, umbrella cell. These are the 5 different types of cells comes under cellular concept. One is macro cell, one is micro cell, one is picocell, next is selective cell, and last is umbrella cell. Where these microcells are using? The microcells are used in suburban areas. Suburban area, that is called a sparsely populated area. Sparsely populated area, and it will cover a distance of greater than or equals to 10 kilometer. It will cover a distance of greater than equals to 10 kilometer. That is, microcells are used in suburban areas or in sparsely populated area. It will cover an area of greater than equals to 10 kilometer. This is a densely populated area. Densely populated area where the population is more, that is like Pune and Mumbai, they are using the microcells. The densely populated area that is covered the less than equals to a 10 kilometer. Densely populated, we are using microcells, that is cover the area of less than, here that is greater than is equals to or less than equals to 10 kilometer. And the picocells. The picocells are used only in the buildings, mountains, and tunnels. They are using mainly in buildings, mountains, and tunnels. That is, you are using the picocells. And the selective cells, they are used to cover gaps and holes present in a particular area. That is, to cover gaps or holes, they are using selective cells. And the last, umbrella cells are used in highways. When the user is crossing number of base stations, he is using umbrella cell for number of BTS. They has changing. The number of BTS will be changed like this. That is used is umbrella like cells, that is used in the highways. These are the different types of cells we are using. One is microcell, picocell, selective cell, and umbrella cell. Microcells are used in suburban areas, that is sparsely populated area, that is greater than equals to 10 km. Microcell, densely populated area, that is greater than less than equals to 10 km. Picocell, that is buildings and mountains and tunnels we are using. Selective cells are used to cover gaps and holes, and umbrella cells are used in mostly the highways. This is what the concept of cellular concept, that is unit number 1. I hope you understood. Thank you.